So in this first step, we're going to build our analysis Docker images for each of our analysis projects. So I'll go to the GitLab project for our event selection code. And the first thing that we want to do is create a Docker file. So it's called Docker file. And we can start with the template from the recast docs. And I'll just go through these two lines. So the first line is telling Docker which image to use as the base image that it's going to build its sort of analysis specific image on top of. So we're actually going to start with athanalysis. And we want to use a specific image tag so that we're preserving a particular version of that base image. So I'm just going to go to Docker Hub, where Atlas maintains various images for common analysis environments. So the first one at the top is the athanalysis image. And I'm going to go to tags. So these are all the different versions that have been pushed to Docker Hub. And the latest tag is 21.2.159. So we'll go ahead and try that. Okay, so the next line is telling Docker to copy all of the code in the project into this directory /code in the Docker image. Now, what we want to do on top of that is we want to actually build the code. So we have, I'll go to the README for this project. So yeah, we can compile an executable for our event selection using this G++ command. So we'll add that in as a run command. But before we do that, we actually will need to specify that this command is going to get run in the /code directory. And the way we do that is with this workdir command. And this also tells Docker to start up the image in this workdir. So we're going to start it up in /code. And then also before compiling our executable, we're going to need to source the release setup for this image to set up the analysis, the Atlas software. Okay, so that should be everything we need for this particular analysis project. So we've told it which image it needs to start from. We've told it to put the code into the image. And then we've also told it how to build our analysis executable. So we can go ahead and commit that. And then the next thing that we want to do is set up our GitLab CI. So we're again going to create a new file, and this one is .gitlabci.yaml. And we can actually directly copy the job from the recast docs. So this image building CI job is pretty much all that you'll likely need for the image building. So you can just go ahead and copy and paste that. So this is building the image using this Canico tool. And this Git submodule strategy recursive is telling GitLab CI to recursively pull anything, any additional submodules that you may have in your in your project. So we can commit that. And then if we go to the main page for the project, now we see that there's this pipeline running, so we can take a look at it. Okay, so it looks like it's getting ready to get started and doing the recursive submodule pull. So while it's doing that, let's go over and do the same thing for our stat analysis project. Okay, so again, first thing we want to do is make a Docker file. And we can again start from the template in the recast docs. Now, in this case, we're wanting to start from this root project root conda image. So this image is useful to us because it has xrootd, and it also has Python, I think 3.6. So the xrootd allows this image to download data from EOS using the xrdcp command. And then the Python is necessary to install the Python modules that we need to run the Python code. So we'll start from root conda. And again, we want to specify a tag so that we're using the same image every time. So we'll go to Docker Hub again and check what tags are available. Okay, so we can go with 6.18. Okay, and now again, we want to copy the code from the project into the image. And let's again just check the README to see if there's any setup to do on top of that. Right, so we need to install our Python requirements. So NumPy, Matplotlib, SciPy, and uproot. So we should just be able to copy and paste that in. And before I forget, we also have to go into the right directory. So again, this workdir command/code. And that should be everything that we need in our Docker file. Okay, and then now we can again just add this .gitlab CI to automate the image building. Okay, good. So we see there's a pipeline running here too. So yeah, we'll just give that some time to finish and check on the progress of the other pipeline in our event selection repo. And cool, it looks like the job succeeded. So that's always great. So now we can go over to our container registry. And we see that it now has this image, which is the image that we just created using our Docker file. So you can click on this clipboard and that'll copy a full path to the image that you can then pull. So we can try that out. Ah, right, I have to log into GitLab registry first. Ah, right, so that's another important thing is you actually have to specify the image tag. So the latest image tag is this master dash BC and a bunch of numbers. So this BC is the short commit hash for the commit that that image is associated with. So if we click on this clipboard, then the path also includes the correct image tag. So let's try that again. Okay, so now it's starting to download, and yeah, it's a pretty big image, so it'll take a bit of time. Okay, now let's see how the other job is doing. Oh, that one failed. Let's see what happened. Ah, typo. Word deer. So I'll just go in and fix that. And that should hopefully build okay. So I'll just pause the recording while I wait for this pipeline to finish. Okay, so the pipeline for the stat analysis has succeeded this time, so that's great. And again, we can now go into the container registry and make sure that there is now an image there. And if we click on it and wait a few seconds, we see that there's a tag corresponding to the commit that we just made a minute ago. So we can click on this clipboard to copy the full Docker path and go into another tab and try pulling it. Okay, it looks like it's starting to pull. And again, it's a decently big image, so it'll take some time to pull. But it looks like we now have a Docker image for each of our event selection and stat analysis projects. So we should be good to go for this first step.